or early afternoon. We have to get things moving along here. We want you to get out of here in a good time. So welcome to TSA's 38th Annual Luncheon. I am Tamara Kiger, the Executive Director of the Senior Alliance, and I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping issues to get things started, so please silence your cell phones. And then the restrooms, there's restrooms down this hallway to the right, and if you go back out the way you came in, there's a hallway that goes to the right, and there's restrooms there as well. So thank you everyone for attending today. It's so wonderful to look out and see so many friends and supporters of the Senior Alliance. Isn't this a beautiful place? Yeah. The theme this year of our luncheon is advocacy. And advocacy means persuading people who matter to care about your issue. It's about getting listened to, being at the table when decisions are being made, being heard by the people that make those decisions. It's about facing and overcoming resistance and obstacles, and maybe stopping or delaying bad ideas. And as we've seen throughout history, successful advocates are catalysts for change. So today, we hope we inspire your advocacy. I would like to direct your attention on the table. There are keys, and on each key is a fact about aging in America. I'd like you to share those during lunch with each other. The keys are also representative of the Silver Key Coalition, which is a group of concerned agencies and older adults in Michigan that are committed to supporting older adults living in their homes as long as possible. And the primary goal of the Silver Key Coalition is to deliver on the promise that Michigan will be a no-wait state. And you can find more information about the Silver Key Coalition at silverkeycoalition.com. And the last fun fact about those keys is they're also a bottle opener. I told you they were multifunctional keys. So I'm happy to tell you that the Senior Alliance is very proud to partner with Wayne County Senior Services for a very important event. And I am going to invite Kevin Kelly, Director of Wayne County Senior Services, Senior and Veteran Services, to the podium to tell you all about that event.
Thank you, Tamara. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good. Welcome. Everyone in this room recognizes the importance of Meals on Wheels. You're aware of what it does to keep seniors in their homes and living independently. But of course, sometimes we're not recognized by a broader audience. And for a few years, we've been talking about how do we expand our sphere of influence, how do we get people aware. And with the help of Roger Myers and others who have been critical to this effort, we talked about trying to create a major event to make the community aware of Meals on Wheels in Wayne County, both the TSA and the DAAA, and its importance to the senior citizen community. Well, on May 21st, we're going to have a major event. It's going to be hosted by the Maddock Automotive Group at 96th and Telegraph. It's going to be a day-long event. We're going to pass resolutions at both City Council and the Wayne County Commission making May Senior Nutrition Awareness Month. And along with that, we're going to have a day-long celebration of senior nutrition at the Maddock Automotive Group. We're going to host our annual thank you luncheon for all of our 800 volunteers in the showroom at 2 o'clock that day. And at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a major fundraising event that is being co-hosted by Wayne County Executive Warren Evans and Mayor Mike Duggan, along with the commission and the council, our congressional delegation, and the mayors and supervisors of Wayne County. So we got the green light about a couple weeks ago. This is going to be kind of a short time frame, but we wanted to make everybody aware of it. We're going to leave flyers out on the table, which talks about the event. I also have corporate sponsorship opportunities available, and you know how to reach me, or you can reach me through the Senior Alliance. And we hope to make it a great event and then continue the tradition and maybe make it an annual event. The importance of this is that it's both AAAs in Wayne County working together for all Wayne County seniors. But I want to thank Tamara, jumped in and has done an outstanding job. The agency has agreed to be the fiduciary agent for this event because we didn't have time to put a 501c3 in place. So everybody has pitched in. Tamara, her counterpart Paul Bridgewater, everybody is working together to make this a Wayne County event and to raise money and awareness and to help feed senior citizens in Wayne County. So we hope you'd all participate, get a flyer, and again, you know where to reach me, and if anybody's interested in participating, please give me a call. Thank you very much.
I'd like to welcome Frank Vaslow, our chairman of the board, to the podium, and he's going to tell you some cool things about the Senior Alliance.
Thanks, Tamara. I don't know about telling you about any cool things, but we had our, oh, I gotta look at this. This, of course, is a regular meeting for the Senior Alliance. This is my 8th or 9th annual meeting, and they're always pretty special. I get to see a lot of folks that I don't see during the normal year, and we get to say hello and get caught up. But one of the traditions we have is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all please stand and join with me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. You can all be seated. You know, we had our regular meeting, annual meeting on March 22nd, and the board of directors got together and chose a new executive board. The executive board meets twice as much as our regular board. They put in an extraordinary amount of time keeping the organization, providing oversight and policy for the organization. So on March 22nd, the board of directors met, and if any of the folks are here, I think they all are, as our new secretary, we have Sandra Falkmichael. Sandra, you here? There she is. Our treasurer, Doug Hall, who's in Florida, I think. And our new vice chair, Greg Denter. Greg, there he is. And the new chairman for the Senior Alliance, Dr. Thomas Jankowski from Wayne State University. Tom's going to make a great chairman. Also, we'll take a couple minutes, because I've got that, to recognize our board of directors. If you got a chance, you can stand up and we'll hold our applause to the end and give them a nice rousing applause. They serve without pay. We feed them on a board meeting day, and so it gets too meaningful. We'll work for food, so we appreciate that. Dr. Vicki Ashker, Melvin Tockstein, Mayor Kyle Stack, Mr. Roger Myers, Kathleen McIntyre, Mr. David Ipple, Miss Ann Hatley, Michael Harris, Jack Frucci, Sandra Falkmichael, Doug Hall, Greg Denter, and Thomas Jankowski, our board of directors. Thank you all. Oh, and I missed Dr. Taj. Dr. Taj, I am so sorry about that. If you notice, I kind of got a kick out of this. This is my last meeting as the chairman for this meeting. And if you look at your program, man, you guys didn't even put my name in the program. I mean, honest to goodness. It'll take you long, and they're shooing you out the door, for God's sake. And I did want to say, I'm pretty sure that at least 50-50 that the Russians didn't have anything to do with this election. So, we're good. What, a little early for that? I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the advisory board, who plays an important role in the organization. Where's Jason? Jason, if you could do me the favor and recognize these fine folks.
Good, thank you. The Advisory Council for our agency is the only body that's actually mandated by the Older Americans Act, and they serve one-year terms. Their role is to basically review and make recommendations on our annual implementation plan, which we submit to the state for our state funding. They also occasionally do research studies like they did on care transitions back in 2010, and they are involved in our advocacy work as well. So now we've elected officers which begin their service on May 1st. Our new chairperson of the Advisory Council is Dr. Denise Brothers from Madonna University, who's unable to attend today. The new vice chair is Joan Savarakis from Wayne County Senior Services, there's Joan over there. And the new secretary, Rosemarie Shim, who I saw earlier as well, Rosemarie. So congratulations to you and thank you for your service as officers on our Advisory Council. We do have, I'm going to read you the list of the other members of our Advisory Council as well. Mr. John Anthony from Canton, Lois Beerbaum, Jack Bird, Lisa Boyd, Yolanda Caldwell, Anthony Fisher Jr., Carolyn Meringer, Doris Morris, Diane Nyhagen, Ann Randolph, Delphine Reed, Amni Darwish Talab, and Michael Walker. So thank you to all those individuals for serving on our advisory.
Well, thank you, Jason. With that, again, I want to say thank you. It's been a real pleasure being your chairman for all these years. And now we're going to have Dr. Jankowski and Tamara Kiger going to come up and do a little something here.
So when I interviewed for the Senior Alliance, I was a nervous wreck. And Frank was sitting directly across from me, and he said, Tamara, don't be nervous. That you'll find that we're a very loving, caring board. And truer words were never spoken. I've had the pleasure of working with Frank for the last year. He's been a great supporter to me, calling, checking in on me, always there for advice, and I just genuinely appreciate that, Frank. Thanks for welcoming me to the Senior Alliance.
I've had the pleasure of working with Frank for the last more than 8 years on the board of the Senior Alliance. I first met him when he joined the board, and at that time TSA had undergone a pretty dramatic reorganization of the board, and most of the board members were new, as Frank was. So he had been a city council member and mayor of Lincoln Park for several years, but he was new to TSA, and that was the first time I had met him. Still, there was something about the way he carried himself and the way he spoke that really made me think he would be an effective leader for the board of the Senior Alliance. I mean, if you know Frank, he's got a very no-nonsense, direct approach, which I appreciate very much. You never have to wonder where you stand with Frank, because he will tell you. So I've enjoyed working with him, and I have never regretted the decision I made to support him for board chair. Over the last 8 years, every meeting Frank has presided over, every decision he has made, every crisis he helped pull TSA through has confirmed to me that he was the right man for the job. He's a guy with a clear vision, solid judgment, unfailing integrity, and a steady hand. And his chairmanship has been one of success in the face of some pretty significant challenges. We've had steady growth and stability for TSA under his leadership, an expansion of our mission, and the quality of our services and the number of people we serve continues to grow. Frank Vaslow has been an outstanding chairman of the Senior Alliance Board of Directors for the past 8 years, and as he leaves his chairmanship, he leaves TSA as an organization strong, flexible, and with an excellent executive director and leadership team in place, and well positioned to serve the seniors and people with disabilities throughout Downriver and Western Wayne well into the future. As the incoming chair, I have some really big shoes to fill, and I'm going to try to rise to that occasion. So please join me in thanking Frank Vaslow for his 8 years of service as chairman of the board.
exalted force, each careful step along the byway. More, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way.
Please join me in welcoming Frank to podium. So Frank, we have a few gifts for you. We have a commemorative plaque from the staff at the Senior Alliance thanking you for all you've done for us. As you know, Frank ushered in the purchase of our property. And so we also have for you, Frank, a beautiful photograph of the property with signatures from the staff and board. And just a small appreciation, a token of our appreciation, Frank. A little more than meals, so thank you.
Well, I feel like I've been to my own funeral here. So I'm gonna depend on you all to come back for that event too. No, it's been my pleasure, and it's been anything but work. These folks, our staff, they're doing God's work. We're feeding people, we're housing people, we're keeping people happy and healthy. What more are we placed on this earth to do? And I'm thankful for this vehicle to carry that out. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Kathleen McIntyre to the podium. Kathleen is going to help me introduce our special guest today.
Thank you, Tamara. I have and just a quick, that was a beautiful and very fitting tribute to Frank. We could have gone on for the entire space of the luncheon, recognizing everything Frank has done, so that was great. It's my pleasure to introduce the dignitaries who are here in attendance today. I'd like you to hold your applause to the end, and I'm just reading names in the order in which people signed in. We are happy to have with us, and when I call your name, just please stand, Janlyn Miller, who's representing Senator Chang's office today, Representative Cara Clemente, and Wayne Mayor Susan Rowe. And if we could give them a round of applause. I know that Wayne County Commissioner Al Haddis is going to get here as soon as he can. They were taking a critical vote this morning, so he was not able to be here. But we'd like to thank them for supporting us and the TSA mission all year, and we certainly appreciate them taking time out of their schedules to be here. And now I'd like to turn it back to our Executive Director, Tamara Kiger.
So I'd like to take a moment, this mic is really something. I'd like to take a moment and just recognize some folks today. So if you're a Senior Alliance staff person, will you please stand? These people really put the heart into the logo, and I just want them to be recognized. We're going to talk about them a little bit more later, but just for a little quick jump up there. Also, we have several folks here that we love. They volunteer, and they volunteer for our MAP program. And that program is otherwise known as the SHIP, which is the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. And these folks work tirelessly to ensure that people clearly understand their health benefits. And if any of you have ever tried to wind your way through the maze of Medicare and Medicaid, you know how valuable this free service is. So if you're a MAP volunteer, and Betty Hughes and Courtney and whoever else, could you please stand and be recognized? They're just terrific people. They save millions of dollars. Senior centers serve as the gateway to the aging network in our communities, and they connect older adults to vital community services that help them stay healthy and independent. The senior center director wears a lot of hats, and leaving the center is a big challenge for them. And we really appreciate you joining us today. Could you please stand and be recognized, senior center directors and staff? Thank you for helping us support the seniors in our 34 communities. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our event sponsors today. You will see in your program book several ads for our sponsors all the way through the book. They'll also be on the screen from time to time. Please take a moment to look at them. And now I'd like to invite Chris LaJoy. He's our champion sponsorship from the LaJoy Group, up to tell you a little bit about his organization. Are you coming, Chris? Where did you go?
Thank you. I really wanted to take the time today more to thank Senior Alliance. We're in the home care industry, but we appreciate our partnership, and Frank as well. All the best. We've enjoyed working with you over the years. And also on my notes, I wanted to remind everyone to support Meals on Wheels. It's a great program out there, and it's near and dear to our hearts. And thank you so much. So have a great day.
So I'd like to just read through our list of sponsors. Our agent sponsors: Presbyterian Villages of Michigan, Beaumont Health, American House, and Loving Care Home Care. Our proponent sponsors: Comcast, ProCare Unlimited, Woodhaven Retirement Community, Daily Merit, Downriver Community Conference, Harvest Partners Financial and Business Benefits Resource, Hannon Center, and Wayne County Community College District Ted Scott Campus. Our supporter sponsors are Monarch Garden Home Care, Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber, Guardian Medical Monitoring, Hal Peterson Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Walton Wood at Carriage Park, and Plunkett Cooney. So thank you to all of our sponsors. They allowed us to have a wonderful luncheon today. So I get one time a year that I can really brag about the organization, and I'm going to do a little bit of that, so I hope you're all patient with me. Was that a wonderful lunch or what? So the Bentley, which is where we are, also owns Silver Shores, which is on the river, and Chef Ziad, Alice, Gina, the whole staff have really been extremely accommodating and helpful to us, planning this, helping us stay in budget, and we really, really appreciate the Bentley, so thank you. So this was an amazing year for the Senior Alliance. We started off the year by designing a brand new logo. So Dave Wilson, where's Dave? Dave also is the main orchestrator of today's event, so big hand for Dave. The entire Senior Alliance team, led by Dave, were able to get in on the selection of the logo. I think they did a pretty good job, don't you? Yeah. Of course, you can't have a new logo and not have new signs. So now it's real easy to find the Senior Alliance. Everyone was really excited about our new signs. And of course, you can't have new logo and new signs and not have a new website. So I strongly encourage you to go to our website. There's lots of new things, resources, linkages, and our team did a phenomenal job with our website. On May 17th last year, the Senior Alliance went with 175 people, over 175 people from our planning service area, to Lansing and had lunch on the Capitol lawn. So it was a great time, and it's really a great chance to advocate with our legislators. And you get a free t-shirt, isn't it great? Bright green, and lunch, and lots of camaraderie. So this year's Over Michiganians Day is May 16th. Call the Senior Alliance if you want to go. We have buses going, and I think you'll really enjoy the day. Last year on July 20th, we had a phenomenal golf outing at Fellows Creek Golf Club. They, like the Bentley, really put on a great event. We had a great time. We had over 100 golfers. And stay tuned, this year we will be having another one. This time we're going for a little better weather because it was really hot. So that's on September 7th this year. This was the first year we ever held a caregiver conference. It was at the Wayne County Community College District Downriver campus. It was a great day. Betty Hughes and Lori Zimmerman and Courtney and Heather and probably someone else I'm forgetting did a great job, Bethany, putting together that event. Then the Senior Alliance got to do something really fun last year, and I hope you all pay attention to this. It was the Taco Hop, and that was in downtown Wyandotte right here, and it's a very cool event. It was my first time going to the Taco Hop, and it's put on by the Brew Foundation, which is bridging resources to enhance well-being and Whiskeys on the Water. The Brew Foundation, coincidentally, is run by our very own Chief Community Care Officer, Kelly Faber, and her husband, Jeff. So if you haven't been, the Taco Hop has beverages, adult beverages from over 20 different breweries. They had taco trucks galore with great tacos, a great band, Atomic Radio. The place was rocking and hopping. Kelly and Jeff worked very hard. It was hot. A lot of things were hot last year. But I just like Kelly and Jeff to stand. We were one of the beneficiaries. They gave us a check for $10,000. Our staff absolutely love helping out with this. They help out a lot of organizations through their efforts, and don't miss out. It's October 6th this year, and they're going to be doing it downtown, right, in Wyandotte, till 2022. Yeah, so be there or be square, you'll love it. On October 12th, we had a different kind of celebration. One of our staff, Mary Ellen O'Brien, where are you, Mary Ellen? Mary Ellen O'Brien was nominated for a 70 over 70 award sponsored by the Hannon Foundation. And she was nominated in the category of lifelong learning. Anyone that knows Mary Ellen knows not only is she a lifelong learner, but she's a lifelong teacher. We really enjoy having her at the Senior Alliance. Here she is with Dr. Tom Jankowski, who coincidentally was there as his father was also nominated in the Unsung Hero category. Tom's dad has a long list of organizations and causes that he has championed, and he also was a firefighter and right here in Wyandotte. So thank you for your service. I am very proud of the Senior Alliance for achieving the National Committee on Quality Assurance 3-year accreditation for case management for long-term services and supports. There's literally hundreds of standards. This accreditation sets us apart and demonstrates that we are committed to providing long-term care in the most effective and efficient way. So Lydia Gold, Kelly Faber, Megan, Hannah, whoever, there were many people that really worked hard to make sure that we got this. The auditor had a real tough time finding anything wrong with the Senior Alliance. So hats off to our team. We have a terrific information and assistance staff. They answered over 40,000 calls last year. We provided over 1,020 rides in our community. I direct your attention to pages 6 through 11 in the program book. That's our formal annual report. In that you will find the names of several donors, organizations, and volunteers who gave generously to us so that we could provide 3,264 meals over the holidays. So join me in thanking all of those people. It's just awesome. program that we are very proud of is our My Choice Waiver program. You know, for years, people only had one option, which was when they needed care to go to a nursing home. The My Choice Waiver changes that narrative, and they're able to stay in their homes. And we're close to that 665 served number this year, and we're very proud of the waiver program. I could go on and on about it, but I think what's best is to hear it from someone who participates in the program by watching this short video.
My name is Lynn Vegas, and I'm a supports coordinator, registered nurse. I enjoy taking care of people who need help, and the Senior Alliance is an organization that provides help to the disabled and senior citizens in our Wayne County. Personally, it makes me feel very rewarded that I'm able to help people stay in their homes, out of nursing homes, out of hospitals, and seeing these people being able to live their lives the way they want to live it and receive the quality of services that we provide. My typical day begins with usually checking voicemails, reading emails. Then I usually go out on 1 or 2 visits a day, and when I talk about a visit, that means going to somebody's home and doing an assessment, and then I'll come back to the office, answer voicemails, order services, and then do my documentation on the assessments. I met Peggy at the nursing home when she had called us to see if she could get out of the nursing home. Peggy's case is very complex because she has wound care and needs nursing services. So myself and my social work partner were able to work with the home care companies in being able to provide those services along with our caregiver services.
Living alone was easier back then because I had more strength and dexterity, and I was able to, with the help from my sister and my brother, I got along fairly well. But as I kind of deteriorated, I ended up needing more help. I had been in a nursing home, it's gonna be 2 years, and I desperately wanted to stay in my own home rather than in a nursing home. So I explored my options, and I ended up with the Senior Alliance program. The My Choice Waiver programs help me stay in my home by providing me with an aide that comes in 7 days a week, and she comes in 6 hours a day, and she'll come in the morning and the evening, and she helps me get up out of bed. Then I'll be up for the day, and she'll help me go back at night, and she prepares my meals and cleans my house and does my laundry, and just helps me with whatever I need to have done. Lynn has just helped me so much with getting everything I need, and I couldn't ask for better help.
So as you can see from that video, I hope, that we have a terrific group of people that work at the Senior Alliance. Thanks Lynn and Peggy both for being willing to let us learn more about this program. So I've talked about our staff quite a bit, and I'd love to talk about our staff. You know, if you look at the Senior Alliance logo, you see a big heart with a bunch of heads in it, that's what I think, and two people that are coming down to form the L. But that's our staff. So I want you to hear it straight from them, how they feel about working at the Senior Alliance.
My name is May W. Baker. I'm a 98-year-old lady, soon will be 100. And I've been working for the Senior Alliance for about 4 years. Most of the people that I work with, they my age, some's younger, but when I come to work, although I'm maybe in pain sometimes, I come here and I feel better. And I let them know that too. When I talk to them, we're helping each other.
My name is Mary Ellen O'Brien, and I am currently with the INA department. I came to the Senior Alliance through the Senior Community Employment Program, which is a program that helps seniors re-enter the workplace. I had been out of the workforce for about 10 years, and through the Senior Alliance, I learned computers and office skills.
I love the fact that we can make a difference. We can help find an answer to people's needs. There are many people that are very frustrated because it's difficult to either get their medications or get food on their table because of their financial situation. Being on limited fixed income sometimes is just not enough to go through daily activities, and we here can most definitely find solutions, in many cases find additional funds. Our counselors here are exceptional. They go through pretty intensive training. I think that they are the best in the state. They're very compassionate, they are very caring, they are problem solvers, so they look for a resolution to many of the everyday issues that many of our seniors have.
I enjoy working with people, helping them problem solve, their ability to remain in the community with the services we can provide, linking them to programs that can help them enjoy their lives. Just to see that as a human being you could be helpful to others has really enhanced me and grown and made me a more mature, better adult.
The most rewarding thing would be just seeing how happy our participants are when they come home from the hospital, or we're able to keep them safe and happy where they're living. It has impacted me as a person and a social worker, just being able to grow, working with other people and learning about the resources and being able to connect people with resources in the community.
And I have the opportunity daily to impact someone's day, week, month, even life. My most rewarding experience at the Senior Alliance, the thing that comes to my mind first is when I had a member go out of his way to give me a call to let me know just how much he appreciated my coworker Leanne and I for going above and beyond for him and his wife to help them. He had stated that he had moved recently from a different country, and he was just speechless with the respect and all of the help that we were able to offer them. I could hear him crying on the line with just tears of joy and just hearing his real emotion, and I think that's what we're all here for.
My most rewarding experience working at the Senior Alliance has definitely been that I've been able to grow as both a manager and as a social worker. I feel like I've been able to improve my skills, and also with the people I work with, I felt like I've made an impact in their lives as well.
I've learned a lot from my supervisor. I've learned a lot from working with the people, and I just absolutely love working here.
The individuals here that work for the Senior Alliance are very caring and very passionate. It's an awesome agency.
If I could use one word to describe the Senior Alliance, I would say home. It's very much like home.
One word. For me, it's life.
So, May always kind of chokes me up there a little bit, but we have an awesome group of people that work at the Senior Alliance, and I hope that you all could genuinely see that from that video. And I'm going to wrap up now. Don't look far for us, you'll find us. Where'd my PowerPoint go? So we have an upcoming article in Downriver Profile magazine. So you'll find us there, and you'll find us just about anywhere a booth will fit. So thank you, everyone. You've been very patient. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Tom Jankowski and Kathleen McIntyre to the podium to do our awards. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. All right, I'm just going to hold this because I think it's easier than using the stand. The first award that we have the pleasure and privilege of announcing today is the Community Partner Award. This is presented to an organization or a company that has worked closely with the Senior Alliance or made other significant contributions to older adults in our region. I'm very pleased to announce this year's recipient, the Department of Health and Human Services Adult Medical District. And if the representatives from that organization would like to join us up here, that would be fantastic. And give them a round of applause. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this remarkable team. The Department of Health and Human Services Adult Medical District is located at Cadillac Place in Detroit. Ms. Dorothy Flowers is the district manager. She oversees the staff members that assist consumers with enrolling in Medicaid and maintaining their eligibility for Medicaid. They process thousands of Medicaid applications, redeterminations, and food assistance requests each year, including the ones that the Senior Alliance submits for the Michigan Choice Medicaid Waiver Program, ensuring that a person can choose to receive their Medicaid-funded services in their home and their community, and that goes to the wonderful film we saw just a few minutes ago. As you can imagine, the Senior Alliance Michigan Choice Waiver Program staff members work very closely with Ms. Flowers and her staff. I'm very pleased to tell you that in May of 2015, the Senior Alliance and the MDHHS, as they're also known, Adult Medical District entered into a partnership to have one of Ms. Flowers' staff members located on site at the Senior Alliance in order that the two entities could work closely to assist the My Choice Waiver Program participants with enrollment and maintaining eligibility for the program. The partnership continues to this day and has resulted in increased efficiencies in serving this frail population. We applaud Ms. Flowers and her staff for all of their hard work and dedication to serving those most in need. The Senior Alliance is very pleased to present the Department of Health and Human Services Adult Medical District with the Community Partner Award. Thank you very much. Ms. Flowers, would you mind just having your team introduce themselves?
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Watson, lead specialist with the Adult Medical District Office.
Good afternoon. My name is Marsha Dow, I'm Assistant Payment Supervisor at the Adult Medical District.
Lakita Cochran, Assistant Payment Supervisor.
Danielle Sorrell, I work at the Senior Alliance.
Eric Lewis, Assistant Supervisor for Adult Medical District.
I would just like to say that the Adult Medical District, we are one of 11 districts that serve the Wayne County elder population, and we are the only specialty district that does all of the specialized living arrangements, such as your waiver program, PACE, Medicaid, and substance abuse treatment programs. And out of the 82 contiguous counties, we are the only specialized district. And we came about because of the need of the Wayne County residents. So we are certainly so happy and humbled to receive this award, because DHS does not always get the recognition that they should. And I'd like to say a special thanks to Ms. Kelly Faber and Lydia Gold. Those guys, you guys and your staff is phenomenal, and it's been great working with you, and we hope that we can continue. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to turn the floor over to my friend and colleague, Dr. Tom Jankowski.
Thank you, Kathleen. Every year, the Edward McNamara Award is given to an individual deemed to have followed the example set by former board chairman Edward H. McNamara. This award recognizes extraordinary accomplishments in the field of aging characterized by a pursuit of excellence and a demonstrated impact on services within the region. Today it is my great honor and my great pleasure to announce this year's recipient, Mrs. Ethel Stevenson. Ethel Stevenson has been an active advocate for seniors in her community of Ecorse for over 60 years. She has lived in Ecorse since 1925, serving in city government in many ways, and she has a deep-rooted commitment to civic engagement and political activism. In 2012, the city renamed its senior center the Ethel Stevenson Senior Center in her honor. As a civil and equal rights proponent during the 1960s, Ethel marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Woodward Avenue, served as a delegate for the National Democratic Convention, took part in the Poor People's Campaign in 1968, and has been honored by politicians such as U.S. Representative John Conyers, former President Bill Clinton, and President Barack Obama. Mrs. Stevenson is a truly remarkable person, and I think you'll see that in the video we're about to show.
Clerk. I'm responsible for when mail come in. I got to make sure it gets to the right people. I follow up on the Meals on Wheels program to make sure that that's going well. And we have we have a problem of seeking help for our disabled seniors. We have a lot of disabled seniors, and we have some seniors who have no relatives or nobody to care. We get involved. We tell our seniors, you don't get tied up in politics. You just be ready to vote. Make sure you vote. And those that don't want to go to the polls, we make sure they vote by absentee ballots. In the city first, I did about 4 years as a volunteer because of my penmanship, and they used to get me to do all the writing for them. And as I aged, I got tied up with the grown-ups in the city, and that pulled me up higher. And I got concerned about the community, and I went into community development. I had other relatives who left ECOS. They went to Detroit and they went to other places, and they wanted to take me along with them. But I never could make up my mind to leave ECOS. Because you know why? Because ECOS needed help. If a city is going to grow, it depends on the people. No city grows unless the people get involved. And that was my main concern. It's all right to just talk, but you got to have some action. My age, I'm proud of my age. I'm 103 years old. This past January the 8th was my birthday. I turned 103. Dr. Martin Luther King's cousin was the husband to my first cousin. And I didn't know that at the time, though. I didn't know that. But I always was concerned about the activities he was connected with. So I followed him quite a lot on what he was doing, and I learned a lot from that, and I gained from that. I have represented this city all the way to Washington, D.C. I was in the marches there. The Poor People's March. I went there. I think I had 3 buses went there for that. You know, this building here was given to me years ago when segregation was on the line. I was smart enough to know that if they knew this building was given to me, the next night it would go up in flames. That's the way the system was way back then. So I kept quiet. I had said nothing about it. But later on, when people began to understand and know what it means to be alive and to move on and to be a part of the world moving. So we decided we would use the center. I says, but let's give it to the seniors. The most important thing to seniors, I believe, is opening the door for them to understand and know that they have to move first. Then the seniors can move. But they must be willing to volunteer, do their time, get involved, and you look for projects. You know, you got to look for projects. That's how you get good, outstanding programs in your city. I go looking for projects. Yeah, live, age, grow. That's right. That's right.
Wow, what an inspiration. It's now my honor and privilege to present Mrs. Ethel Stevenson with the Edward McNamara Award.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You have to excuse me for sitting, but as one of our top comedians used to say, I have sore feet. And so I didn't feel like standing or walking. But I remember when this building was being built. I remember when this area was Indian territory. When my parents came, this was woods and water and the Indians. That's why you have center X's named after Indian chief, Wyandotte. That's where it came from. But anyways, the world is moving nowadays. It's not standing still anymore. And you might say we're seniors, but we're going along with the progress that's being made. You cannot teach a baby to walk if you don't know how to walk yourself. And so this downriver area is growing, and it is going to continue to grow because some go out and some come in. But the main thing is people must unite and get acquainted with one another from one city to the other and know what's going on and help wherever you can. Where anywhere I can help, I will be there. And I have represented the downriver area, not only just Ecorse. And the federal programs, they called me. I answered. When the federal programs went out, we all remember OEO. When that went out, the state took over. They called me. I answered. When that was over, the county came in. They called for me. I answered. And I've never been afraid to challenge. Now, if it's not going to be right, I don't take any part in it. But this world must move on. It must move on. And so it depends on the seniors, whatever experience they've had, whatever they know is good and can be used. There's nothing wrong with volunteering your time to younger people. They're gonna be seniors one day. But until that time, give them all the help you can. Yes. But make sure you try to steer them in the right direction. Don't set them down that road. Life is a left road, a right road, and a middle road. And you better make sure you know which road to get on. Because if you don't, you get put on the wrong road. But I enjoyed this program here today. I was going to stay home today because I have a bad toe and it don't want to act right. And so I decided I was going to stay home. My friend said, no, you're not, you're going. I said, but I'm crippled. She said, somebody will help you. But anyway, this has been an informative affair because I learned some things that this alliance do that I wasn't acquainted with. But however, continue to do what God wants you to do. And that is be your brother's keeper.
Yeah. All right.
And that means help whoever needs help.
Yes.
Don't worry about what club, what political party, what church, what school they belong to. If they need help and you can afford that help, give it. I've given help to whites, blacks, Hispanics. I didn't care if they was a human being and they needed help. And I knew how to, if I didn't have it, I knew where to get it from for them. That's my mission because I was raised by a gospel preacher, which was my dad. My dad was a gospel preacher, but he passed in 1943. But anyways, I'm glad that I got the kind of raising I did get. And yes, I went on all the marches. Well, if a bus was going there or a train was going there, I was on it because I was taught, go and whatever experience or whatever you know, share it. Okay? So this has been a nice, informative meeting for me because I learned some things about the Alliance I didn't know before. And thank you.
Thank you. Remarkable lady. I mean, she's been blessed with a long life, and we've all been blessed with the way that she's chosen to spend it.
Wow, that's a very difficult act to follow. That's inspirational, and there are just really not words to describe it. Thank you, Mrs. Stevenson. Thank you, Dr. Jankowski. It is now my pleasure to award the Meritorious Service Award. This award is given to an individual who has made outstanding impact on the lives of older adults in the region and/or the aging network during the past year. I'm very pleased to announce this year's recipient. It's County Commissioner Al Haddis, formerly Mayor Al Haddis of the City of Wayne. Unfortunately, due to voting that's taking place, important voting that's taking place. Can you please come up here, Commissioner? You snuck in. I was crazily texting you. All right, despite having an extremely busy morning and some very important voting down at the County Commissioner, Commissioner Haddis could be here today. And it's now my pleasure to make some brief remarks, and again, this is another person we could go on all day talking about everything that he's done for the community and those who the Senior Alliance serves. But and also full disclosure, Commissioner Haddis is not only a commissioner and former mayor, he's a wonderful friend of mine and my family's, and I know as he is to many people in our community. Anyway, Commissioner Haddis was elected in November 2014 to represent the Wayne County Commission's 11th district, which covers the city of Belleville, Romulus, and Wayne, Huron, Sumter, and Van Buren townships, and part of the city of Westland. Prior to being commissioner, as I mentioned, Mr. Haddis served as the city of Wayne's mayor from 2001 to 2014. Commissioner Haddis has been recognized for his service at the local, county, and national levels. He was inducted into the International Institute Foundation Hall of Fame in 2012. Commissioner Haddis has been a key advocate for the Senior Alliance, especially as we transition to our new property in the city of Wayne. In 2015 and 2016, he advocated in favor of our agency purchasing our new campus from the county in order that we could establish a new location for our area agency on aging and explore additional potential services and programs on the balance of the property. In 2017, he was again a strong advocate for our application to the Greater Wayne County Economic Development Council for $14,000 in funding the upgrade to our campus and parking lot lighting, thus improving safeties for employees and visitors with more efficient LED bulbs. At this time, I would like to present Commissioner Haddis with the Meritorious Service Award. And now I'd like to ask the Commissioner to make a few remarks.
Thank you. It's a great honor to accept this award on behalf of the citizen of Wayne County, especially District 11, and especially the city of Wayne, where my political career starts. And I want to thank the Senior Alliance leadership and staff on helping the people who need help. That organization been on a long trip from the time where Tom Brown starts and the Senior Alliance was in the red for $2 million. And they came through and balance the budget, enhance the service, work with the people. And Mr. Kevin Kelly reported to us, to the county commissioner a couple of weeks ago, is the waiting list on the Meal on Wheel been eliminated. There are no people waiting to get their turn to be served. Everybody been served. So I can thank the leadership and the staff enough, and a great job. It's well done. And Ethel set the bar too high for all of us. So I hope she continue be active the way she show her ability to perform and leadership today. And may God be with you, and God bless our great nation, and have a good day.
All right, well, let's hear it again for our award winners, because they are all here. Very positive. We're so fortunate to all be working on the same team. Now I get to introduce our keynote speaker, who I'm sure you will all find very interesting. Linda Cook McDonald is our speaker today. Linda McDonald has been a wife for 45 years, a mother of 3, and now a grandmother of 2 granddaughters and 1.5 grandsons, with the second due to arrive around Memorial Day. She's always been an activist, first in issues related to nuclear disarmament, and then later in broad coalition work around addressing poverty and violence. She attended McCormick Seminary in Chicago and was ordained as a Presbyterian minister of Word and Sacrament in 1995. She served several congregations as an interim pastor, while also working as a Peace and Hunger Action staff person for the Presbytery of Lake Michigan. Along the way, she has led groups of Presbyterians on study trips to Nicaragua. She became the pastor to the North Presbyterian Church in Kalamazoo in 2000 and served there until the end of 2012. North Church has a thriving membership and ministry with people living with chronic mental illness and other life situations. In retirement, she has been actively involved with the Area Agency on Aging Region 4, where she is one of the delegates to the Michigan Senior Advocates Council. The Michigan Senior Advocates Council played a major role in defeating cuts to Meals on Wheels, in-home services, and volunteer programs proposed in fiscal year 2012, passing legislation to create the first prescription drug program in Michigan and one of the first in the entire nation, statewide expansion of home and community-based services through the My Choice Waiver Program, which we all love, funding increases for Meals on Wheels and other in-home services, which are critically important. She helped create the home heating tax credit, the state funding for the Dial-A-Ride program, long-term care reform legislation, and legislation regulating Blue Cross Blue Shield, which led to the creation of the Michigan Health Endowment Fund. Linda states, after almost 4 years working with MSAC, I think I finally have a little more knowledge about how state government works, and it isn't exactly like I learned in civics class. So she's going to share some of her experience and some of her knowledge with us today. So please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Linda Cook McDonald.
Wow, I don't know about you guys, but I am so, I just feel so moved by what I've seen today and what I've heard, and I want to thank Mother Ethel Stevenson for all of her work through the years. You were born, Mrs. Stevenson, the same year as my mother-in-law, who died several years ago, but she was kind of a mover and a shaker too. She worked on Meals on Wheels and helping feed people and doing all those kinds of things. And I want to affirm what you said. You better be sure the road you get on. Be sure of the road you get on. Continue to do what God wants you to do. Be your brother's keeper. We live in a country that isn't really sure that anybody should be anybody's brother's or sister's keeper. And we have to be aware of that and be involved in living out a different mandate, if you will. Because I'm a retired pastor, I tried really hard not to make this a sermon. But I want to give you a proverb, and if you want to go home and look it up later today and kind of think about it, I think this is what all of you are doing. You're attempting to do this by the work that you do. Speak out for those who cannot speak. This is from Proverbs 31, verses 8 and 9. Speak out for those who cannot speak, for the rights of all the destitute. Speak out. Judge righteously. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And that's what an advocate is about. That's what your work is about, actually. That's what your mandate is coming out of the Older Americans Act. And I must tell you that I've spent a lot of time concerned for whether or not we blow ourselves up with nuclear weapons in my life. And I've been recently concerned about whether we will kill each other with guns, one day or another. And I have been concerned about how we treat older people, people with disabilities, people living with mental illness, and that we not ignore who they are. I can't take very much credit at all for what MSAC has helped all of you do. We are your advocates. And I've only been there 4 years, but there's a list as long as my arm of things that MSAC has helped you accomplish, has helped all of the area agencies in Michigan accomplish for the good of everybody. An advocate is one who supports the cause or interests of a group. And there have been so many advocates speaking already today. I'm really superfluous. I mean, Tamara gave a talk that is about advocacy. And certainly the people on the
on the videos. I'm trying to remember all of the names of the people that I wrote down and saw. May, who said her work is about life. Advocacy is about life. Advocacy is about life. We've received, I tell you, I've learned so very much about how things work here in the state. Sometimes they work really well. They work really well on behalf of all of us. But I think we've been in a season of drought in terms of how they work for all of us. And that's when we need advocates so much. We need advocates all the time. I said to a friend of mine that when President Obama was elected, a lot of us who were cheering and patting ourselves on the back for that election, the day after the election, we all went out and got coffee the rest of the 8 years that he was in. We didn't pay very much attention. And advocacy is about paying attention. At its heart, advocacy is about your belief system. It's about what you believe it means to belong to a community, to a state, to a nation. Advocates don't just get born, they're forged by life experiences. I look at May and I look at the story that Mrs. Stevenson tells us and how she came up in life. And she learned the right road. She learned the good road. And an advocate needs to be able to find the good road. Sometimes we all need help for that. But our work as advocates is about making things better for more than ourselves. It's about a group. One who supports the cause or interests of a group. One who knows the voices of those and brings those voices into the room. Voices that are sometimes, maybe most of the time, missing. I'm sorry about this. I don't like to hold a microphone. That's so. But I'm thinking back to how the first meeting that I went to of MSAC, and I want to encourage you about MSAC. I was talking to Dr. Jankowski and to, I want to say Carrie, is that right? Carrie, at the table about the fact that your region, one seat, doesn't have anybody at the MSAC meetings anymore. We need, you can have at least 3 people. We used to have Ray Byers there. Who remembers Ray Byers? Ray was the delegate for you, and he was always saying, we need more delegates from my region. And now he's not even there. So I want to urge the advisory council and all of the folks who work to make this agency the wonderful, strong agency it is, to begin looking closely and inviting people to consider becoming part of the Michigan Senior Advocates Council. And I'll tell you really quickly, we meet once a month, not every month of the year. The 4th Wednesday at 9:30. This year we're meeting in the Senate office building, and I will say to all of you, you have a beautiful building in the Senate office building. It belongs to you. And it's lovely to come and meet in our building that we've all paid for, and go and talk to legislators that we pay every month and encourage them to listen to us. You know, I'm a retired pastor, as I said, and I'm a Presbyterian. I'm a daughter of that wild rabble that had a hand in the American Revolution. But I'm also part of a denomination that foundered on the injustice of slavery and trying to make such an abomination conform to some theology or another. My ancestors broke their heads and their hearts trying to make sense of a constructed social reality that was cruel, unjust at its core, had always been unjust in biblical times, and was about getting rich through the unpaid work of poor people, systematically reduced to powerlessness because the skin God had given them was not white. Past history continues to melt into the present, it seems to me. So what your mandate is and what MSAC does to help has become more and more important at the same time that it's become more and more difficult. What we advocate for, of course, is more financial resources to make doing the job better for everybody. What we spend our time doing, however, is figuring out how to get more out of fewer dollars. There's something very strange about that and a little bit perverse that we don't allow our general fund to be the kind of strength that a state needs for the benefit of all of its people. I hope you all think that's a good idea to strengthen the general fund and not to keep pulling money out of it for things that really rightly should come from appropriate taxation policies. We deal with a political system now where the elected folk pay very close attention to what their caucus has written is their plan. It doesn't have to do anything with what we believe needs to happen here in the state. It disregards your interests, it disregards your experience, and you have to struggle mightily to have them put down their talking points that their caucus has designed somewhere at a think tank and is pushing onto the state. And I say that's true for both parties. We only have two to choose from. But that is a problem. When you go and you make your case, and it's a good case, and somebody still pulls out their talking points and they end the conversation with their talking points, which they've underlined and they memorized, you have a hard time then. We have become, in recent years, a one-party state, a one-party elected state, if you will. So there are so many safe seats that no one feels obliged to listen to you, or to me, or to MSAC, or to the things that you care about. And that's why we need lots of allies. Allies in local government, allies in local agencies, allies with educators, allies with universities. It's critical that people meet one another and talk and discuss about what's going on. That is what it is to be an advocate. There is always more to learn and understand. And that's what we've heard from May, and that's what we've heard from Mother Ethel Stevenson today. There's more to learn than we have time to do. But we can keep working at it. Keep working at it, trying to understand what's going on and not give in to the narrative that's at the top of the heap at the current time. Learning, too, is what advocacy is about. It isn't enough to have a soundbite. You have to know what it is you believe. Advocates know that our well-being is assured when the well-being of everyone else has been taken care of. When everyone is well taken care of, starting with those who are the poorest, then everyone else's well-being will be assured. It's when we begin to throw certain populations out that the rest of the society begins to crumble. Your life is not some odd mistake, and nor is anyone else's. Every life matters. When May said life at the end of that video, I just about, I was in tears. Your life matters. And if your life matters, then the life of your next door neighbor matters. The life of the person who lives in Ecorse matters. The life of the person who lives in River Rouge matters. The life of the person who lives in Plymouth matters. Every life has purpose and meaning. Not all lives are treated as though they matter. And that's why we have some new movements about that are important for us to both understand and support. And I speak directly now about Black Lives Matter. Poor lives matter. Women's lives matter. Gun violence victims' lives matter. We have to make our world that we carry in us bigger than us and our own particular family. So, nobody here is a mistake. That some are too young, others are too old or too sick to work does not determine our belonging. That we're here is proof of our belonging. Advocates say no slicing and dicing. And we have to live our lives that way, constantly drawing people together. This is when advocates become allies. Allies of the people in their struggle. Allies ready to go out on the street and march. And to be with people. And to help their voices to be heard. What we do to really support one another is one way we grow up to be human. And not as 0 or a 1 emanating from some computer program algorithm somewhere far away. Advocacy is your mandate through the Older Americans Act because the act was meant especially for our fellow community members living with fewer resources. That's how it started. So at the end of the day, advocacy is about hearing the voice of another calling you. There's a great story in the Acts of the Apostles in chapter 10. I'm sure Mrs. Stevenson knows this, where somebody in a dream is calling to Peter, come over and help us. Well, that's the beginning of advocacy. Come over here and help us. We need you. When we go to help, when we listen, when we pay attention and learn what history teaches us, we may grow to become allies of those who call for help. And along the way, we'll become allies of all our better angels. There exists a fine line between lobbying and advocacy work, but I believe the one aspect that establishes the fine line is this one thing. Whose voices are being represented in the rooms where decisions will be reached? Who is in the room? Whose voice is magnified? A legislator once said to me as a group of us came to speak at a health committee hearing, we see too many lobbyists and not enough citizen advocates. It seems to me that our nation needs fewer lobbyists and more advocates and allies. So I want to urge you, Region 1C, on this day of your annual meeting, which is a great celebration, urge you to send some representatives of your region to the Michigan Senior Advocates Council. I fully expect we'll see 200 people at the Older Michiganians Day, May 16th. And I want to thank you for your kind invitation to be here today, to speak a little bit about MSAC and some about advocacy. I think Mrs. Stevenson and May gave you a wonderful speech about advocacy today. And I just feel like I'm following up a little bit on what they said. So I thank you very much for your time.
Well, I know we've all been having a lot of fun, and we're going to end with fun today. So I want you to open your program book up and look in the back, and if you have a blue circle or sticker, you're the lucky winner of the centerpiece. Okay, and then we also have a raffle drawing too. We have a wonderful foursome to give away, courtesy of Brian at Fellows Creek Golf Club. So do you all have your raffle tickets? Are you all ready? Can we give Linda another round of applause for coming out and talking to us today? I hope you all are leaving inspired to be advocates for our older adults. Ready? Everyone have their tickets? Who doesn't? I'm going to name a number. Okay. 359399. 359399. No? Yay! All right, everyone. Thanks again for coming. We really appreciate you being here today.